What's up? This is Brian from LogicProHacks. How's it going? Well, today is another day. And it's time for another walkthrough. Alright, so what I'm trying to do here is there's this art-based phaser made in Omnisphere. And it's this thing right here called Classic Up-Down SH101. It's actually part of the old library of, it's by an old Roland SH101 synth, I guess, as it's described in here. And it sounds, it sounds pretty cool. Let's play it by itself. If we do it without the effects, this is what it sounds like in the raw. I'll go ahead and play it. It sounds pretty cool. And then what I did here is duplicated the same track. And then I just put a phaser on it. Right here. It's just a normal phaser with, 64% output mix level. And it sounds like this. And I took out the low end on the analyzer, or on the EQ. This is the EQ off. Just because you don't want to double up that bass there. It sounds really bad. So you mix that in, you can have like a nice mix together. And oh, I forgot to tell you on the this one, I also have this timeless. It's just your normal setting of chorus delay, DJM, whatever that is. When you add that and the EQ is just lifting up the just the sort of the low mid range, and it sounds like this. And with the timeless off, just kind of adds like a nice little effect. So that's cool. And when you put them all together, it sounds like this. It sounds really nice. Just a real nice driving bass sound. I mean, it just really gets your attention. Now, here's the thing though. I want to create a template, but I don't want to use Omnisphere. I don't want to use Timeless. I just want to use nothing but Logic to do this. So this is what I did to create both of these effects. It's not going to be right on, but I have to say I like it. I want to say I like it better. And this is what I did. What I had to do is I had to create a track stack. And for my low end bass, the one without the phaser, I actually had to create two different synths to get the synth that Omnisphere was doing, which was this one right here. And when we take apart Omnisphere, when we take it apart, you'll see you have an A and a B. So let's go ahead and let's do the play the B side for you. You can hear that? Just a nice little deep bass, really fast, 16 arpeggial. Say it's got on a 16th sync, something like that. And then it also has an A side. So if we go ahead and just to play the A side, it should sound like this. So the A side is this fat PWM pulse width modulator deal, and it sounds like this. Really nice sound, and it has some FX going too. The FX is on the A. It's this chorus echo and a flame. It's like some kind of a driver distortion thing that comes with Omnisphere. If we undo both of those and then play them, it sounds like this. So just almost like a driving plucky type of sound. It's got some distortion. So that's the two different sounds that I need to duplicate. All right, so this is how I did those two different sounds. And the phaser is just a duplicate of the same thing, and it's just adding phaser. So we'll get to that next. So the first sound we wanted to do is we wanted to do that bass sound. And that bass sound is, if we go over on the B side and just play the B side, this is what we want to duplicate first. That right there. if we go in here and we just undo this one, and you can see right here, I have a retro synth is what I'm using to get the bass sound. And you can look at my amp envelopes. I got a very sharp attack, short decay, short sustain. Same thing with the filter envelope. And I got a very low cutoff on the filter. And on my settings, I just basically transposed it down. I'm using a saw wave, because I want, I felt like this was just a good sound for the saw wave. And I also used a little bit of chorus. And this is what I got. Oh yeah, and I did use the Arpeggiator. Like if you can go in here, you can click on Arpeggiator, the MIDI effects, and you just click on, I think it's like this one or this one, and just leave it at that. It just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, and you leave it on the 16 beat. And that was matching pretty good. It was okay. But I just felt like I wanted to control it a little bit more. And because like at the very end on some of these, I'm actually lifting it up and going up high, and then I'm taking the other one down. So let's go ahead and just take all the effects off, and I'll let you listen to it just by itself. And make sure everything's else muted. This is what it sounds like. This is what I got. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's almost like the other one. Now let's go ahead and let's listen to the Omnisphere one. It's a little bit different. It's got some kind of almost like a little bit of a delay or something. And I think that's coming from just the sampled synth itself. And when I do mine, it sounds pretty good. I like it. If we take off the chorus, probably take off the chorus too if you wanted to, and it gives it more of a drier sound. We could take off the chorus, that would give it a drier sound if you wanted to. But I like it. It's just a simple setting with the saw waves. It's more of just tweaking the filter envelope in the amp envelope. I got this jacked up at 51%. These are defaults, nothing there. And then if we go into the settings, it's just barely any voice tuning, no spread, 2 voices, mono. We could probably maybe put that up to, but I like it. That's what I have, and then it's nice. All right, now for the other one, the distorted side, I'm using an ES2, and on this ES2, it's a mono, but I jacked up the 6 voices and I'm doing unison. But here you go. I decided to use the FM, and I jacked it up really high so I can get some of that distortion. And I even jacked up the distortion here too, right there, and these two. And I'm using a sine. I just felt like it sounded really cool with the sine. And then, I think with all these different oscillator waves, you could see that it's not really doing anything because they're set in the middle. So the only thing that's really doing anything is this one on envelope 2. Like you could probably bypass all these. It wouldn't really matter. Those aren't really doing anything, but these 2 are the ones that are doing something. And the vector's not doing anything. So because it's just sitting solo point, so it's not really going to do anything. But you have the ability to play with those if you wanted to. One's set on keyboard tracking, and the other one's on envelope. A bunch of envelopes, different envelopes. You got oscillator 1, and then cut off 2. And when we put it together, or when we play it, it sounds like this. And there is no effects. It's just a limiter and an EQ. EQ, I got the low end out. If we take the EQ off and play it, let's just, and then just lift up the around the 39 hertz. Sounds like that. And if we go back to the other art base and Omnisphere and we play that, so there's almost like some kind of distortion kind of phaser in this synth right here. And if we turn on the FX, it's a little bit of something going on there. A little bit of a, delay and some distortion. And this is my version of that. Undo that one and go to this one. That's ES2. I like it, and I actually like it better than the other one. There's some diehard analog synth fans out there who may say, no, you can't do that, but I like it. And on the other synth, I decided to put a compressor on it, and the type of compressor I'm using is a setting I made, which is called fast opto bass. I feel like the opto does really good for bass settings, and it's just more of, just a low, very short attack, short release, real high gain, and the thresholds, being compressed a lot. Distortion on the, this is Logic 10.1, so you have the new thing with the distortion. That's really nice on these compressors. It really gives it a biting edge. So when you put this compressor on it and we just play it by itself, it should sound like this. Just really nice biting edge to it. And if we put them both together, maybe take it down to the distorted side, maybe, take it down a little bit, something like that. There we go. That sounds pretty good right there. And then if we play the one by Omnisphere and we enable everything, and then make sure the FX are enabled, and we play that, it should sound like this. So it's a little bit smoother sound. It's not doesn't have as much as of a bite as if I play these two. But I have more distortion going into and more FM synthesis going in, but I like it. I wasn't so much trying to duplicate the sound. Yeah, I was trying to duplicate it in a certain way because I wanted to get that driving sound. But what I was more just trying to do, hey, I just want to experiment. And from experimenting by trying to duplicate the sound, I was able to create a different sound, slightly different. And I have to say, I like it. Maybe it's just more just because I did it myself. So I don't know. So I like it. And then the phaser side is pretty much just the same thing again, same type of deal, but I'm just adding a phaser and a delay, a stereo delay. And the stereo delay is just, I took the default stereo delay, but I changed the feedback. I think it's default to 30. I changed it up to 40. Took some of the low end off of it has its own little internal EQ. I took that off. The same delay setting on both ones. You got a bass phaser and then a high phaser. If we just play the phasers by himself, it sounds like this. Sounds pretty good. Now if we play the art phaser, which is pretty much the same thing here, but it just has a phaser on it. A little bit different, but still kind of cool. But if we play my phaser, which is these two, because you got to remember, in Omnisphere, they're two synths in one. And we play these two. I have to say, I like this one. It sounds much better. And the thing is, I'm using the same two synths, the Retro Synth and the ES2. Same settings, but just with a phaser on each one. And the cool thing is with a track stack, what I could do is I could take one MIDI and it'll play that MIDI file for all four of these that I have set here. So that's why I don't have MIDI in here. It's coming from the track stack up here. Forgot to tell you that I got a compressor on the track stack, which is being sidechained by the Ghost, so that way I can make room for the kick. The type of compressor setting is a electric fast guitar setting that I did a long time ago, and it's basically the same thing again, short attack, short release, a lot of compression, a lot of makeup, distortion, but I'm using the Studio VCA, just a nice compressor setting for this type of sound, especially on your synths. And this is what's triggering it. You can hear it now. I like it. It sounds really good. And if we play all these, it sounds like this. And if we play this and trigger them all, we could probably take the maybe the threshold up a little bit. Seems like it's compressing a lot. I like it. So that is my ARP bass setting, custom ARP using nothing but Logic to get that sound. I hope that this may help someone out there. This is from a new template that I'm working on. It's called Adagio for Strings, LogicProHacks Trance template. It's in the style of Tiesto's Adagio for String. It's not exactly the same, but it's sort of in the style of it. I'll throw in a link. I'll play a little bit of this as we go out. Yeah, and I'm selling this template at fadedshadows.com. The link will be in the description. Remember, my friends, stay groovy. Stay groovy, yes. All right.